area. Let's just put 30 acres in. So we'll get everything over 30 acres. We'll get all the bigger properties. And there's 38 acres for $28,000 and 37 acres for 10,995. So I don't see the 37 acres for super stupid cheap. It might have sold, or it might have been an error. Where's this one? So this one's got a wash next to it. It's got some roads. Looks like you could drive right up to it. Curtis has this one. He's asking $28,000. This is Cochise County, so you could split it up and sell the pieces if you wanted. Pretty easy there. The rules and regulations are pretty easy to do that. Where'd the property go? Oh, look at that. This is on the western side of Cochise County. The ones that I've usually have are eastern. This is close to St. David. Benson's right here. You can get supplies in Benson. Dragoon Mountains are over here. These are some beautiful mountains. And properties, if I've ever had anything over here, they're gone so fast I can hardly blink. And Tucson's over here. So you're much more in range of Tucson than other parts of Cochise County going down the 191. I mean, this is like another hour to get down here towards a lot of the other ones by Douglas that I've had, or 2 hours to get to these ones out here. I think that one I was talking about that was really cheap was up here by Portal somewhere. And there's like no supplies around that area. I mean, it's cheap land, but there's just no supplies. Like, you want to go get gas, you better have some jerry cans in your car to get there. I mean, it's just ways off, right? So yeah, there's that's still pretty cheap. I mean, the 10, which one was it? The 28,000 we're just looking at, but here's almost $11,000 for 37 acres. Let's take a look at that one. Cheryl says, I leave Friday for Switzerland. Oh, that'll be fun. Go hike in the Alps. So here's, let's see what part of the county this is. So it's it's just under $11,000, 10,000 change for this one. Cochise County. This is, okay, so it might have been this property. Maybe it was mispriced, or I left off a zero or something, but this is still $11,000. This is close to Portal. This is New Mexico, Arizona state line. A rodeo is over here. It's a little town. And I don't really know what's in Rodeo. I mean, there might be a gas station there, so maybe I shouldn't joke so much. But I bet you there's like a post office. Looks like a water tower, maybe. Hopefully they have a school. So there's a property. Where'd it go? 10,995, 37 acres. Shelby Land Deal says, good morning. Nathan Bladden, need land near Benson, Arizona. Luke, please. Okay, Benson, Arizona. Let's see what we can find near Benson. Let's load the map search. I like the map search part of the website because we can look by area more and see what we can find around Benson. The problem with a map search is just it's overloaded. There's too much on there. It takes a while to load. I mean, this is Google. Google is supposed to be fast, right? I guess their servers crashed last week or yesterday for a couple hours, and everyone got upset. So another way we can do this while the map is loading is Cochise County for sale. We'll just do any size. And see what we can find near Benson. So that one, this 38.6 acres, $28,000, that might be our best bet, getting close to Benson. $28,000 for almost 40 acres. That one was pretty close to Benson. And if this map would ever load, I could show you more stuff around Benson or what else we might have there. For whatever reason, it's taken a while. Let's see what other people say while that loads. And Blake Jones just got some mailers, Luke. Let's mail Beverly Hills. Yeah, I know, right? I'm processing mailers fast as I can go, guys. I opened the window this morning for two more, just 2 slots, $1,500 for 1,500 mailers. I really got to keep up with the mailers that I've sold. I gotta share with everybody that bought mailers what mailers they got and where they are in the status of the mailers that we're working on. And so I don't feel like I should open up more, just selling more mailers. But I think doing a couple slots of mailers helps pay for the 500 mailers I'll give away towards the end of this show. And I'll get them processed here as soon as I can, get them out, get everybody informed of what's going on. We've been sending out a lot of mailers, and people keep asking what mailers are. Mailers, for those of you that are new or don't know, it's a letter, and that's how we get this land. We send a letter in the mail, and that map is still loading, but it's coming. Send a letter in the mail that says, hey, I'm interested in buying your land. Here's how much I'll pay. Here's a cash dollar amount. I spend a lot of time and energy trying to price those things and present that offer, and talk to those people that are willing to sell their land for hopefully the prices that we're selling them for. A lot of people think we're stealing from them and we're ripping them off and everything else, but they haven't tried to sell vacant land. Vacant land is not that easy to sell, and it's not like a super homogeneous commodity that's easy to price either. There's a lot of art that goes into buying and selling vacant land and developing it and making it work and making it more valuable instead of just getting stuck with it and paying taxes. So I think a lot of those people that yell and scream and say the price isn't high enough have never really tried to sell their land. They're just on the side of buying it and knew how hard it was to buy. So let's get down here. Let's find Benson, because someone was asking about Benson. Nathan Bladen was asking about Benson. So here's Benson, Arizona. And so this is the property we were just talking about, was the $28,000 for almost 40 acres over here. And then is that... Oh, that might be. Okay, so this one that... this might be in the neighborhood. So Curtis has this. Let's see if he says anything about it in there. Because I had one just up the street from here. Yeah, okay, yep. Legal description, Dragoon Mountain Ranch. So Dragoon Mountain Ranch, Unit 1, Lot 104. They've got some rules and regulations to the ranch. And they've got a gate to get in there. Like, you've got to get access to the gate to get in there. Hopefully Curtis has access to the gate. I had to do paperwork with him, prove I was the owner, and like dance up and down, pay some fees to get the gate code to get in there. But eventually they complied and got me the gate code. But doing it from afar, they wanted me to come in person and stuff. But I eventually got it figured out to do it from afar and get access to that property. And as soon as I got access to the property, mine was just like one street over or something. It flew off the shelf real quick. This is a really popular neighborhood. They got these big lots with great views of the mountains. These mountains behind it are, Wild West fairy tale stories about these mountains and the fights and things that happen in the mountains. And it's close to town. Like, there's nice streets. They've taken care of the streets, and you can get out and get to town pretty well. So that's going to be a beautiful, well taken care of area to have a property. And I think that's why Curtis is asking $28,000. I bet you'll get it. I'd probably ask more than that for that specific neighborhood. That's one of the neighborhoods that demands a higher price than just the vacant stuff. Usually I'm poo-pooing neighborhoods because I don't like paying the fees and dealing with the rules. But that one, I don't know, has a soft spot in my heart. So we got this other one over here that's close to Benson. Let's see what this one is. This one is, it's got me on there. I'm not sure I'm actually the owner of this one though. No, this is in Pima County. Yep. Yeah. This is one of mine. I thought it was in the Cochise side. So if you're close to Benson, but on the Pima County side, 14,999. I've got one on a street power, and it's, there's houses next door. Looks like somebody's got horse across the street with a round pen, and looks like the horses are, there's shade shelter and stuff. That really looks like horses to me. So I'm guessing this one's got the utilities and it's ready to go. You go build on it. And that's not very far from Benson. So that's $14,999 for that one, but it's on the Pima side, just across the border. Okay, let's go back. Thanks Blake Jones for buying some mailers. Thank you. Carl. Okay, so Puebla, Colorado, Canyon County, Colorado. So Puebla and Canyon County, Colorado. Let me see what part of Colorado that is. see if I can get my spelling to work. Whoops. I want to open image in new tab. Here we go. Okay, so we've got Puebla is down. Where is Puebla? In Canyon. I'll find them here. Give me a second. I thought it was down southeast. Yeah, oh, here it is. Yeah, so right over here, Pueblo. This side over. Wow. See if I can. Pueblo over here, and Canyon. Where's Canyon? I thought they'd be right next to each other. The way he's asking about it. I don't see Canyon. County was it? Canyon County, Colorado. I don't know where Canyon County, Colorado is. Why don't I see it? Maybe it's like bounced off the screen or something. I'm not as familiar with Colorado as I am with other parts of the U.S. But let's pull up a map. So we've got the website here. Let's zoom out. Let's find Puebla County on this map. I mean, I could do the search, but I'm going to start with the map and then we'll do the search. So Puebla County is like over here. Wallensburg maybe. Thatcher. Let's see if this ends up in Puebla. Oh, those are sold. Okay, so let's go back to the website. Let's do Colorado. Puebla County. Pueblo. Probably Pueblo. Nothing. Let's see if we had some that used to be some in there, right? So we've got a 30 something sold properties in Pueblo County, Colorado, but we don't have any for sale right now. They look like they've been pretty low dollar ones too. $800-900, $1,000, $600, $700, $500, $500, $700, $800, $4,000. What was that? I don't know. The pictures are old. The website got hacked along the way, and the backup of the picture database didn't work. The backups worked for a lot of it, but they didn't get all the pictures. And so I'm missing pictures of some of these older sold ones. But there's a whole bunch of them in here that have been sold. So at least 30 plus 34 properties sold in Pueblo County. We don't have any new ones right now. So Canyon County, I don't think I even saw Canyon County. I don't see it on the map or on the list of ones that we have. I don't have a Canyon County. Let's find some other ones. So Pueblo County, sorry, we don't have a good one right now, Carl. Probably have to go on somewhere else. Southern Utah, okay. Southern Utah. Let's try Southern Utah. We're all sold out. We don't have any for sale right now. We've had a couple, like a scattering of them, and let's see if we have any Utah. So Patricia, Zeke, she had some good ones in Southern Utah on the website for a bit, like Kane County. I think these are all sold. There's for sale. Oh, these are for sale. So Kane County, where's Kane County? Iron County. Kane County and Iron County. I think those are further north. Here, Patricia's got this one, $4,200 or owner financing option, $1,000 down and $130 a month for 32 months. 0.33 acres. Look at that, there's houses in the area. You could probably go up and build on this thing. If I looked at plat maps and stuff, there's probably an easement or access through here somehow. Part of Utah are we in? That's southern Utah. I gotta get that one on the map. I don't know why that wasn't showing up on the map. So, Kane County, Utah, 0.33 acres, $4,200. This is southern Utah, and I'm just asking to try to get that one on the map, so that we'll try to get that on the map so it shows. Let's see what else we got. Iron County, Utah, 10 acres, 13,333. Where's this one? I don't remember this property. It's got my name on there. I buy a lot of properties, guys. Okay, so there's 10 acres. Modena. Barrel. So this is, I think, just the other side of... this one needs a map. Where are we? There's a 15. Cedar City. I've never been to this part of Utah. I mean, I've driven the 15 through here. It's beautiful. You got the mountains on one side, or, you know, there's a gap in the mountains here you drive through. But, like, over here, I've never been to this area. I'm guessing you're going to see these mountains. There's some crop circles. There's some pivot, you know, irrigation pivot points in the area. So they're probably drilling some big old fancy wells to get that water to flow. Just looks like some classic vacant land. You open slate to go build and do what you want to do to it. So 13,333. Hopefully one of those hits the criteria for southern Utah. Backwoods bungalow. Beverly Hills will be the ultimate land deal. Yeah. I mean, it's I think there's a tipping point along the scale when it comes to vacant land as you get into the ultra exclusive fancy stuff. I mean, it's a totally different sales pitch. It's a totally different presentation. It's a different market. I'd rather have more realistic properties and many more of them than one of those things. And I think I'd switch over to houses or apartment complexes or strip malls or all kinds of other assets before I'd go to the ultra exclusive fancy neighborhood style vacant land. Just me. I don't know. I'd probably go oceanfront kinds of properties or beach, waterfront, lakefront, that kind of stuff before I'd go Beverly Hills. Excuse me. John Smelly says, can you tell me why anybody wants to buy desert land? There's no water and can't grow food, so what good is it? There's a good question. Yeah, I mean, ask the hundreds of thousands of people living in the desert. I mean, it's all those properties started somewhere. It can be beautiful in the desert at the right time of year and or the right time of day, like early in the morning or in the evening. And the transition between the colder night and the hotter day, it's the birds go off and the bugs make noise, and when the flowers come in the spring, then the smells can be overwhelming. I mean, I almost get sick to my stomach with it. The smells can get so strong in different times I've been in the deserts and the blooms are going off. And then other times it's just relaxing to get out of weather and go sit in some of these places. Like I vacation to the desert sometimes just to get away from everything, and it's usually very quiet, peaceful, and it's a different kind of atmosphere. Just like going to a jungle is a different kind of atmosphere. I love going to jungle kind of climates too, and listening to the birds and the bugs and the song, but you don't usually get much sun because the foliage fills in so thick, right? And then other places that are more green, like my wife's from Sweden, right? We were just talking about Sweden before. Going to Sweden and feeling the lush grass, and it's not cactus like California grass. It's a soft, delicate, because it doesn't get much sun, and when it does get sun, it's at a big angle. It's not straight on sun. I mean, it's just the plants grow differently. They're softer, tender, more delicate, and it just seems like lots of things are that way too. I grew up in northern Michigan on Lake Michigan, and the coast of Lake Michigan is beautiful to me too. And looking at land and visiting land in like Vancouver area or Seattle or Alaska, we were just talking about, they're all different climates that have their pros and cons to them. Over the desert, under the desert, at different times of year, different times of day, that make them attractive. And sometimes it's just the price. People can buy a piece of land in the desert for, less than buying a airline ticket to Hawaii or something, and they got their own land. And it's whether they ever develop it or not, it's a hope, it's a dream, it's an outlet, it's a passion, it's something to plan for, it's something to work on. It's if you take hope away from people, it can destroy them. It can turn their world upside down. It can turn their drive, their production into oblivion. I mean, and so I think hope is a really healthy thing for people. And a lot of the people develop these properties. Like if you go look at the properties in the deserts, there's lots of them that are developed. Some of them are developed into master plan communities, and others are more rustic with a cabin and, solar panel or something. But anything in between, even camping on the property, using it a couple weekends a year for stargazing, is more than worth it for the right person to buy that property. So I stopped a long time ago of trying to think of why someone's going to buy this particular property over all the other properties in the world, because I've heard so many different stories, so many different reasons why people buy these properties, that I just gave up. And the same thing on the sell side. Like, why is somebody going to sell this property to me at this whatever price that I want to pay for it? And yeah, a lot of people say no, but there's also some people that say yes, they can't wait to sell it, and that's where we get all these properties. So if you go look at ruralvacantland.com, there's hundreds of properties that people want to get rid of or have sold, and other land dealers and I have bought up and put up for sale. And if you look at the sold ones on the website, there's well over 1,000 properties there that are sold that people have taken off with and loved, and probably another 1,000 of them that aren't shown on there because other land dealers have bought them and they don't want the ads on there anymore. And there's a lot of trade for these kinds of properties. Iowawa1 says, hi, yeah, all in Luke. Hi, hello. Cheryl Kushner, raised bed gardening, self-wicking tubs. There's a lot of solutions. Yeah, a lot of solutions to rain, or not having full-on constant rain. Where I live here on the coast in San Diego, it's an average 10 inches a year of rain. These properties that we're looking at in Cochise County, they're usually averaging about 15 inches a year of rain. If you look at the area here, it's very green, and it's not because it's naturally that way. It's because people have planted it. They've taken an open slate desert kind of property and they've planted all kinds of stuff. I mean, my backyard that's right next to me here is it's really green. I do a lot of irrigation. The grass is going off. I built a pond. A pond in the desert, right? And the birds love diving in there. The frogs and the fish and everything else just goes off, and it creates an ecosystem that anybody could create on any property if they really set their mind to it. And then this weekend I moved, so I'm moving away from this property to another one. I haven't moved the office yet, but I'm moved the family, and we got another house. So this This next one has a new yard, and I'll start over again and start building. I think one of the first things I'll build is an office in the backyard. Just like right now, I'm in my kids' tree house that I built for them. They've outgrown it. They don't use it anymore, so I turned it into an office. And so I'll go build a new one, build a new setup, something new, something something fun, and go for it. And Cheryl's talking about raised bed gardening, self-wicking tubs, and there's just so many different ways. Cheryl says, you can grow anything most anywhere with self-wicking tubs. Here we go. David Portman, Luke, can we set up a call this week? Yes, David, let's set up a call this week. Let's talk. Lisa, first name Sap. Good morning from Prescott, Arizona. Good morning. David Portman, I think he means Canyon City, Colorado. Okay. Canyon City, Colorado. David knows Colorado better than I do. Let's see where Canyon City is. Canyon City, Colorado. Okay, it's close to Pueblo. Puebla. So maybe outside the city instead of the county. Here's one that's not too far from Puebla. Let's see what this one is. Mike Hassman's got one. $42,000, Fremont County, Colorado. 23 acres. And he's got some, looks like some street view, actual view of land from Route 13A frontage. And across the street, looks like neighbors are building houses. Looks like they've got a horse trailer. It's not too far from Pueblo. Looks like there's a road into it, so you can drive into it. Oh yeah, I remember this one. It's got like potential to be split into lots, or I think it might have been, or it could be. You could break it up a couple different ways. Put some houses out front. So where's Canyon City? Canyon City was just off of Pueblo. So this is close to the Canyon City area. Let's see what else we have. It's probably the best one in the area. As we get further over, we've got a couple over here. So we go down south. Those are the ones in Pueblo County we were looking at. South of there, we've got one here. What is this? 40-acre property with mountain views. Andy Barnhart's got this one, $16,595 for 41.61 acres, Herefino County, Colorado. So if you go on the website and look up Herefino County, Colorado, you'll see this one. It's a good sized chunk of land for not a whole lot of money. It looks like there's a power line right there too. There's a power line clipping the corner of the property. I'm not sure if that's a residential power line or a bigger, longer distance power line. There's a trail, looks like it goes around part of the property. A couple trees. And then here's a couple more of them that are west of Pueblo. 6.1 acres. Looks like it's wooded. Brian's got this one. He's asking $16,999. Looks like it's up in the mountains in the trees. This is Fremont County. It looks like a rectangle with roads that go into the area, into the trees. So there's a couple of those in the area. Here's another one with trees. This one is Brian again, $12,999 for 5.25 acres. This is Fremont County, Colorado. So this is west of Pueblo. And there was one more there. Let's see if we can get this other one. Vast 5.33 acre property to build your home, Fremont County, Colorado. So there's another five something acres, $14,999. Looks like a good sized street out in front of it, and maybe some neighbors in the area. This one might have utilities. Look at, there's a neighboring house right next door, so they figured it out. It's a street view there, no. but there's trees and other streets around the area, a couple different houses. There's a house on either side, so there might be power in this area. I'm not seeing. Oh, what is that? A power line or a gate or a name over the driveway? It might be a driveway entrance. I'm not seeing power. We have build your own power system. These other guys are figuring it out. There might be power there if you look hard enough. But so here's some in the Puebla area. Near Boise, Colorado. Boise, Colorado. Is there Boise, Colorado? I thought Boise was Idaho. So there might be Boise, Colorado. I gotta learn my Colorado more, huh? Let's see where Boise, Colorado is. I'm sure I spelled it wrong. Boise, Colorado. Boise. I'm just getting Boise, Idaho. I don't know. There's a Boise, Colorado. I don't know where it is. And so Iowawa is saying, John, when climate change comes, you can maybe grow tomatoes in December, huh? No. Guys going back. Some people love the desert. Some people hate the desert. I totally understand. I don't think I could live in full-on desert year-round. But I love visiting. I love spending time in desert. Number 04. Was that 30 odd acres for less than $1,000 over here in the UK? You're paying through the nose for an acre. Was that 30 odd acres for less than, I think it's less than maybe 10K. I made a video this morning about 30 acres in San Bernardino County for $5,999, basically $6,000. So $6,000 for 30 acres. Yeah, try to find that in Europe. The taxes work different in Europe. So in the U.S., people charge, or the government charges taxes on the land instead of taxes on people working the land. I mean, they kind of charge both now, but the idea when people left Europe and set up the U.S. was that they didn't want it to be the same as Europe. They didn't want huge landowners owning everything and ruling over the people as much. So they wanted people to own their own land. And the way they set up the taxes was the taxes are on the land instead of the people working the land. And so when the tax is on the land, if you have a bunch of land, it doesn't make sense to let the land sit around. It makes more sense to sell off the pieces that you're not using and shore up your holdings over time. Or if you pass on and you don't take care of it and the title is going on down through the family somewhere and nobody can really transfer it that well through common English style common law, then when there's taxes on there, the government, and the taxes aren't getting paid, the county, in this case, the county can take the land back and go sell it to somebody else. Let somebody else have a shot at it and try to make it happen. So there's a lot more recycling of land in the U.S. economy than there is in European economies because of the way the taxes are set up in the U.S. And so when it comes to seeing stuff come out on the market, like a lot of these different properties we have gone through tax take back somewhere in their history of those properties. If those taxes weren't being charged, they wouldn't have been taken back and they wouldn't have come back into the marketplace for various different reasons. And that shores up the availability of land and makes for higher prices like you see in Europe. So in the U.S., you get lower prices of land because of that tax going on in the background, from my opinion, from my understanding. Some other people have different opinions, but yeah. John Smelly says, where are you going to get water? Yeah, that's a very good question. So for all these desert properties, where are you going to get water? You can drill wells and pay through the nose. I mean, compared to lots of places like Michigan, where I grew up, the cabin one of the cabin that my parents still have is it's got a 25-foot well. It's like next to the cabin. There's a hand dug one, but they drilled one eventually. The hand dug one was, I don't know, maybe it wasn't even 25 feet because it's close to Lake Michigan. You're like right on the beach, and it's The water's right there. And a lot of Michigan is like that. It's a swamp basically. They have these spuds you can buy at the hardware store. Hammer them in sections. You can spud your own well because it's so sandy and soft. And it's just like a pointed rod with some holes in it and a screen on the side. And you screw them together as you keep hammering. You screw on another piece, hammer some more, screw on another piece till that thing's down the ground. You can put a hand pump on there, electric pump or whatever, and you got a water well. You darn well can't do that in the desert. The ground's too rock, too dry, and it just doesn't work. It costs more money. So what guys will do is they'll bring in a RC rig, which is a pipe with a hollow core and little diamond grits on the side outside of it, and it just spins and it just drills a hole right through the rock as far down as you need to go, maybe a couple 100 feet, maybe a lot more, and it'll do like a residential size well. And there's water in a lot of those rocks from like way back in time that's seeped its way down in there, and you can suck off of that water for a good long time. And so people will do that. And these guys that are doing the irrigation pivot points, they'll use a percussion drill, the kind that'll pick up a rod and drop it, pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it, and it'll crack and smash and blow the rocks into smithereens. But they can do a much bigger hole, and it'll cost more money. Instead of 10, 20 grand, it'll be 50 or 70 grand. They'll do an 8 or 10 or 12 inch hole instead of a 3 or 4 inch hole or something. And they can get a lot more capacity and a lot more volume out of that. And that percussion banging of the rocks on the way down will make cracks all over the place, not just where they're trying to make the hole, but out into the rocks all around them. And those cracks open up more surface and more area for the water to come in, and more water comes in. And so you can do those kinds of wells too. And some people will do those for neighborhoods and bigger production wells. And if you had a property for, say, like one of these 40-acre properties or 20-acre properties or something like Cochise County, for example, where it's easy to split the properties up, or any of these counties, you can split them up if you do the paperwork right. Cochise County is just really easy. You could split them 5 ways pretty simply with the way the regulations are. You could sell off 4 of those 5 and keep 1 for yourself, and maybe use part of that money to pay for a water well, and you could share that well between the 5 properties, and that well would probably increase the value of those other 4 properties. And so where everyone's saying there's no water, what's the point of buying this land? There's no water. You could solve that problem and get somebody else to pay for it, and you could get some land out of it basically for free by being the one that finances it and has the foresight to do that out of the beginning. You'd have to put up the money to buy the land, drill the well, do the paperwork to share the well between the 5 properties. But as you go sell off the other 4 and you give them access to the water, I think you could probably sell 2 or 3 of those for more than the cost of the thing, and then you maybe even walk away with making some money on it. So why do people buy land in the desert? I mean, there's always ways to improve on it, and that's one of the main things about vacant land, is there's always ways to improve on it and make it better. And why do some people buy the dumpy house with a bunch of trash in it? Why do some people buy the brand new fancy one that's ready to move in today? It's usually price, and it's usually their drive, burning desire to go make it happen, right? So in the desert, the prices are usually lower and it takes more work. But that's part of the trade. You can get a piece of property a lot easier there. Candy is saying, any land in Georgia? I don't think we have any Georgia ones on the map right now. Let's see. I might be wrong. Yeah, I don't have any in Georgia right now. From my understanding, you need an attorney to close properties in Georgia. It's a little different closing process than a lot of the other states. So I believe it's an attorney close. You have to have an attorney signing off on the buy and the sell, which can just add to the intricacy of pulling it off. So that's part of it. Sorry, I don't have any in Georgia. Cheryl Kutcher is saying off-grid water storage tanks. Yes, off-grid water storage is another way to do properties in the desert. A lot of desert properties are supplied by water delivery. Like the example I had before about I'm living in 10 inch per year average water place, and the Cochise County ones I'm just using as an example is more like 15 inches in a year on average. If we go to West Texas, I think it's 7 and 8, 6, 7, 8 inches a year, in some of those areas. And people still live off of rainwater. They just have to set up a lot more storage capacity, because when it does rain, it really rains, and then they want to fill up all their tanks. They'll want to have 30,000 gallons of storage instead of 5 or 10,000 gallons of a storage to make it between the wet seasons. And it's still very doable. I mean, they'll catch water off their roofs. They'll catch water off of things they'll set up in the land. Sometimes they'll set up water catchment basins, depending on the local rules and regulations, or if anyone's looking or not. And they'll get control of that water when it does come, and they'll store it away for the times when there isn't water. And then if they don't have enough storage, they'll get water delivered. And some people don't even try to collect the rainwater, and they just get water delivered. And it doesn't cost that much to get water delivered. A lot of ranches have water trucks for multiple different things, like delivering water to places for cattle, or for wetting down roads to get rid of dust. And there's a lot of reasons ranches end up with a water truck, and they're always trying to monetize them too. So if there's a ranch in the area with a water truck, Bob's Water Service starts, and you can pay them $100, $200, $300, or whatever. They'll bring a 5,000 gallon, heavy duty truck with a massive tank on the back over to your property and fill up your tank with it. And they're pulling the water off of a ranch well or a fire station well. They're not really paying for the water, so it's mostly you paying for them to deliver the water. And how far out in the middle of nowhere you are kind of dictates the cost. But there's usually one of those ranch trucks around somewhere in the area that's willing to deliver water. And so that happens a lot too. John Smelly said 10 acres of sand. Where'd it go? Yeah, so John Smelly, got anything not in the desert? Yeah, so let's look at some not in the desert. I'm not trying to just sell you desert. I'd like to see some property from Montana. Okay, Montana's not desert. Let's try that. Montana. Nothing. I did a bunch of mailings up in this area of Montana, and everyone just yelled at me. They got mad. They got mad. I didn't buy any properties. I don't think I offered enough money, but I just didn't. I thought maybe some of the other guys on the website would have some Montana. So I should keep trying to get some Montana stuff. Last time I was looking at it, one of the data sets was saying that it was illegal to, it was against the regulations to send unsolicited mail to Montana. But the way I was reading the regulations, it was against the law to send it if you got it from a government list. But if you're getting information from public data, like who owns the property is public data, then it's okay. So my interpretation of it's okay to send mail to Montana. But for whatever reason, we don't have any properties in Montana. Sorry, guys. Compost can grow you anything with a little TLC. Yeah, you can do compost in all kinds of places. Yeah, Jovi Ben Toto says, I'd prefer mountainous or ocean, like you said, Luke. Yeah, so we've got I think I still have oceanfront one in Humboldt County, California. And nobody's bought this property, maybe because it's right on the ocean. I don't know. So we've got this Shelter Cove community. It's north of San Francisco. It's maybe like a 6-hour drive north of San Francisco Bay Area. It's little roads out in the middle of nowhere. There's an airstrip here. I think there's a flight 2 or 3 times a week or something. You can fly out of the Bay Area to come in here. And then I've got this property, and it's right on the ocean. And it's steep. It's on a hill. And maybe that's why nobody's gone for it. But I keep lowering the price over time. Still nobody goes for it. $12,999. So what I'm asking. And it's right at the end of a street. It's got a power line. It's got sewer, so you don't have to worry about getting septic into the hill. And it's got power, water, and sewer. So you can hook up to the power, water, and sewer, build a house overlooking the ocean. Here it doesn't look like it's on the ocean, but it's because there's a big hill. So there's a big hill between here and the water, but you're right there overlooking the ocean in a big way. And if we take this little street view guy and go look at the street in front of the property, you can see it. Oh, we're looking the wrong way, but there's your power line, and there's a bunch of trees. There's a neighboring house, and if we look west, we're looking at the ocean. The property is this stuff over here. It's this whole side of the street over here, and it looks like a great place to build a cabin, cottage overlooking the ocean. We've got trees, we've got plants, we've got water that comes in probably every night. You get dew and mist and fog galore here. It's not desert at all. And you get ocean views. This neighbor built a fence around their property, built a house up here looking out at the ocean. Looks like they even gated off their driveway. The neighbor over there is on the next street over, so you've got this whole bunch of room in between to build a house overlooking the ocean. And then, so we're up here overlooking the ocean. Then there's a boat launch down here, which I love fishing. So that's like, you can launch a boat here, go fishing all over the area. There's a bunch of rocks. I love spearfishing too. There's a bunch of rocks. You probably find all kinds of fish hiding around the bases of these rocks, abalone and stuff like that. And then to the north end of this little community is the beaches. So you can drive or bike or walk or hike or, walk your dog over here or whatever and go walk the beach. It's a big big black sand beach. And then all these hills in the area just outside the neighborhood are nature preserves. Kings National Forest, just big national forest. I see pictures of like elk running through this neighborhood, elk, deer, turkey. There's a lot of wildlife because there's a bunch of nature all over. And you're right by the ocean. I think I'm surprised no one's taken off with that one. It's Humboldt County. It's a fifth of an acre, 12,999 with all the utilities right there. So you could build a cabin overlooking the ocean. It's got buy it now set up, ready to go. So that's one of my properties. And then I've got some. What else do we have? What's this one? Oh, that's in the trees in the forest, Humboldt County. That's probably a good one to go grow some marijuana. There's big greenhouses next to that one. If we go over here along the backside, we've got one here, and it's 3 acres in the trees. There's a bunch of trees, and this is Nevada County, Grass Valley area of California, and there's ponds and streams in the area. People are using water wells here pretty easily. Just lots of trees. Driving in there, driving around. It's a bunch of trees. You have to cut trees down to build something. There's houses around. There's a power line right along the edge of the property. I like those kinds of properties. See, a lot of these other ones are sold along the way. But what was this one? I think some of these are on. Not that one. Let's try this one. This one, I think I just got some offers this weekend. This one might be sold. It's not totally sold, but it's probably gone. It's on a stream, and you got this trail back into the woods, and then you're overlooking I think it's the Molokimi River, or maybe I have the name of the stream wrong. I'm sure I have the name of the stream wrong. But there's a stream down here, so you're overlooking the stream, and then there's a lake just up the way. This is Lake Jenkinson. It's really nice fishing and boating and just mountain scenery, mountain lake. Not that far from Sacramento. These kinds of properties are definitely not desert. Those are all sold. This one is got a stream. This one's stream frontage. This one is you can drive right up to it, and you're on a stream in the woods. I'm asking $48,900, a little over 3 acres. It's 3 different lots, and I had the drone guy go take footage of it and stuff. But let's see if we zoom in here. I'll take the street guy and look down into this one. there's a stream down there. So the property, it's on the road, but you got to get over the stream. So you got to build like a little bridge to get over the stream to get to the property, go build stuff into the property. There might be access from the top side of the property, but I think the bridge over the stream into the property would make the most sense. That's what some of the neighbors are doing to get access to their properties along this stream. Maybe we could see some pictures. I mean, these are trees, it's a wooded area. Definitely not desert. So you get in the land. So this was wintertime, there was some snow. But you can see the stream down in here right over my head. It's a beautiful, mountain stream kind of property. There's a shot of the stream. There's a stream flowing through the bottom. Right now I'm sure the leaves have filled in. It's a lot greener. But this is the way it looked a couple months ago. I'm sure that's some nice, beautiful, crisp air. Let's get rid of some of these properties and catch up on the comments. Yeah, so Jovi's saying, I prefer mountains or ocean, like you said, Luke. Yeah, the desert sucks. It's only good in early spring, just saying. Yeah, everyone's got different opinion. I love early spring desert, though. I use desert land to launch rockets. Nice. Meetha Williams, Las Vegas used to be desert, use some ingenuity. Yeah, Las Vegas, still desert. I mean, they built all kinds of stuff in that area. Gone prospecting. My favorite thing about living in Arizona was I didn't have to mow the lawn. There you go. So there's no lawn at my new house. It's a lot more water-wise, I guess. Iowawa saying, yeah, game. I have gravel in the lawn in Tucson. So lazy me, exactly. Morning again. If you build it, they will come. Exactly. Dryersville, Iowa, field of dreams. Looking for acreage in Washington State, South Central, out of communist California. Okay, so Washington State acreage. Let's take a look at what we got on the website there. I think we've got some of those properties. Did I kill my map? I think I might have killed my map. Okay, so we'll do a classic search of Washington State acreage properties, and then we'll load the map. See if I can get the listing view to go. When I'm doing videos, the internet runs a lot slower for me. It's spinning its wheels. Redefined Living says, morning again. Yeah. Freedom in an Unfree World, Harry E. Brown. Cheryl says, I'm from Colorado, never heard of Boise, Colorado. Yeah, I couldn't find it. It might have been Boise, Idaho. Mistype. Maybe I should just ran with Boise, Idaho. So let's look at, what are we looking up? How did I forget where we're looking? Washington. Washington. For sale, all the counties. Let's see what we get. See if this map's coming up to you. Okay, so the map is loading. If we zoom in on the Washington State, let's do a political map. We'll zoom in on Washington. So there's a couple up here in the corner, and there's a couple over here. Let's try these ones that are over here first. River frontage on Tassel Creek in beautiful 2.65 acres lot in Forks, Washington. Nice. Aaron English has this one. 46,977. 2.65 acres. Looks like there's neighbors in the area. Let's see if we get some pictures that make sense here. Yeah, it looks like it's on a creek. Tassel Creek. Okay, so this piece of land next to the creek, and there's some roads running around the area. Todd's Creek Side Cabins, one of the neighbors. There you go. That sounds like my kind of place. My head's in the way, so you can't see what I'm pointing at. Okay, good. It's on the map, so it looks like it's on the street. There's a creek in there. I wonder if we can see the creek by doing Whoops. Drag my little street guy over there. Doesn't seem to be working. There might be some pictures. So if we do Google, we could probably see what that picture is. It might be a picture of the cabin. Google Street View is starting to get all kinds of private information in there, and not just the government, or not the government, the cabin stuff. Photosphere. Okay, come on. It's got a photosphere somehow. Okay, so here's the guy that rents a cabin next door. See if he shows the creek. That's probably the creek in the winter. There's a picture of the, yeah, there's probably the creek right outside his window. And I don't, oh, here you go. There's another shot of the creek. So that's probably a shot of the creek right over my head here. So you're probably, the land on the other side of this would probably be this property. It's probably not big enough acreage for what the guy's asking for. Let's see what this, here's acreage on a creek or stream. $75,000 for 7.5 acres, basically 7.5 acres. And oh, okay, so it looks like it goes from the road right, get the whole river crosses your property on this one. Looks like the road is in there. Let's see if we can see whoops, see if we can get Street View guy. No, Street View is not working, but looks like a good river right there. Coming off these mountains and going out towards the ocean. I wonder if you get like salmon runs in a stream like that. Probably do. Nice big mountain here that's feeding the stream. So $75,000 for that one. $75,000 in Jefferson County for basically 7.5 acres. See what other acreage we have in Washington. 26.97 acres with timber rights. Patricia Zach's got this one. $38,000 or $10,000 down with 8% interest. You can do financing on it. So here we go. So it's there's a couple houses on either side. There's some roads running through the area. If these houses are figured out, I bet you can figure it out too. Street View is not working in the area. But it looks like there's some good trees on here. It might even be an old mobile home or RV or something in the middle of that property. I don't know this area very well. Here's Oroville. It's Oroville Dam, I'm guessing. Okay, let's see what else we got. $160 acres overlooking Spokane River. So there's some acreage. Somebody's asking for acreage in Washington. 160 acres. Chris Gibson, $289,000. It's made up of 4 different APNs. So if you don't want the whole thing, you don't want to spend that much money, you could probably sell off some bits and pieces. He's got a video about it. I'm missing the map of the lot lines, but let's see if I can get that in there. What else do we have? So here's one that's heavily timbered double lot. Chris Gibson, $19,950. This looks like two different APNs, 12.68 acres for less than 20 grand. It's got, this one could use a better map too. I'll try to get that in there. But look at that, bunch of trees. Looks like there's some little roads running around the area. There's a power line running through the woods. Looks like a great place to go let the dog run. It's a lake. It's a road. Not sure if there's a stream going through there. These lakes all seem to be in a line. Looks like a stream would run through there. Okay, let me get back to the comments. I'm hoping for a printer that makes water out of garbage items. Nice. There's some forward thinking. John Smelly is saying, do you offer owner financing on that ocean property? Yeah, on that ocean property, that Humboldt County one for like 12 grand or 12, I forget what the price was. Yeah, Humboldt County. It's 1/5 of an acre. I could do financing on it. I'd like a good sized down payment. And take credit cards, maybe half down payments for a year or two or something like that from there. I'd be game for that. Let me know. There's a contact part of the website. Go look up that property and hit the comment section. You can go fishing right down the road from there. I hear it's got good halibut fishing, like Pacific halibut and California halibut. And there's a lot of rock fishing in that area. So you could do different kinds of rock fishing year round. There's lingcod and a lot of abalone. And salmon. There's a salmon run in the fall that people like to hit up in that area. I'm trying to think of what else. I think it's steelhead in the spring, but I'm not exactly sure. I know it's a salmon run in the fall. But I'd love to get into the fishing action there. And just looking at the ocean, just watching the birds go by. You probably have pelicans floating right by your window on a property like that. From the air. DS says, have you heard of those Warka water structures that collect water from the air? Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure the one you're talking about, but there's different ones. There's a bunch of different, excuse me. Sorry guys, I'm yawning. There's a bunch of different machines you can run that take electricity to collect water. There's some that try to collect water that don't use electricity. They collect it out of the air. There's water in the air. It's just how much and how efficient is it? How much energy do you have to, capital and energy do you have to put out to collect it versus alternative means? Getting it delivered is probably the cheapest and easiest. I did get where the desert land is. Yeah. 3 dogs and a camper. That ocean property looks nice. I know. No one takes off of that ocean property. You could build a little cabin up there and just look at the ocean. You put a big deck hanging out over that hill. I mean, I don't get it. Should be gone. Someone should be telling me what they're building. Send me pictures. Send me pictures of sitting on a chair looking at the ocean, right? John Smelly, would you do owner financing on that oceanfront? Okay, so I was just reading that. Yes, John, I'll do some owner financing. Let me know how much down you want to do, how much a month, and we'll figure it out. Angelina, get a couple properties and move at seasons. Exactly. Get a desert one for the spring, ocean one for pretty much any season. That oceanfront one, because the ocean should keep it pretty mild there. Von Fuck says, anything in the Eugene, Oregon area? Okay, let's look at Eugene, Oregon. No, sorry. What's this one? The closest we got over here is, those ones are sold. Should work that area. One of my friends is probably on this call. I believe is working this area. Christmas Valley on the backside. Sprague River. So this isn't Eugene, Oregon, but this is the closest I have. You probably drive here for the weekend. $7,500 for 2.23 acres in Klamath County, Oregon. It's a bunch of trees, just trees, trees, trees. A little street driving up to it. I really doubt Street View works here. Looks like there might be an old dry pond next door. Looks like someone over here has got greenhouses going on. There's some scattered homesteads in the area. Yeah, but this river is supposed to be really good fly fishing. It goes up in this. I've had a couple properties up in this area. Yeah, these ones are all sold. Let's see what this one is. David Dennison. Okay, $8,000 or $9,000 with monthly payments. It's on a road, trees in the area. Looks like some other greenhouses. Someone going for it over here. Excuse me, I can't stop yawning. Sorry, guys. Don DeVito came in late. Good afternoon from New York City, and I want someplace where neighbors are at least a couple of acres away from me. Yeah. Eating popcorn, watching Luke. Nice. How cold does it get in Spokane? Spokane, Washington. Right? Let's so when I'm researching weather in these areas, I usually look for a what do you call it? Almanac. Spokane, Washington Weather Almanac. Let's see what happens. See if we can find one that'll work. I guess you can get history. Washington. Let's see what this is. Okay. So, what was the question? How cold does it get in Spokane, Washington? So, 30. It's below freezing in January, and it's November, December, January, February. It looks like it'll freeze at different times in there in the lows, and it looks like that's when it's wet too, so you'll get a lot of precipitation. And the highs, it looks like the high is August, pretty much July and August. It'll get up into the maybe break 80 degrees, so it doesn't get baking hot. Average high in August 83. It doesn't get as hot as the desert stuff we've been talking about, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot more humid, so it still feels pretty hot. And then in the winter, the average high in December is 32, so December is going to be cold. January is 34. That's going to be pretty cold too. Average low in December is 22. I mean, you're going to be scraping ice off your windshield in a couple mornings, or a month or 2 or 3 there, that kind of temperature. So, reverse swamp cooler, huh? Best water catchment is rainwater catchment. There you go. Redefined Living says the best water catchment is rainwater catchment. No, I agree with that. Just use Mother Nature. Just build enough storage to put it to work. DS says, any ideas for a good location state for a piece of land to live on in an RV, and maybe also a small RV park rest area for travelers to make a little income? Ooh. I mean, people that are willing to go there with an RV are willing to go to pretty much anywhere. If you if you set the place up for it and you got some kind of something for them to come, like a lake or a stream or a mountain or a, people will come camp out and use the property. And there's a lot of websites now that you can advertise your campground on, try to get some income out of it. It's a tough slug. I mean, it'd be a hard way to make ends meet, in my opinion. My friend, when I grew up, one of my best friends, Justin Lancaster, his family had a campground not very far from where I grew up. And they bought the campground in northern Michigan, and they would try to charge like $12 a night or something, right, for camping sites, and I don't know, $15 or $18 a night for RV spots. And people would come down from the UP and they'd say, "Oh, $12, I can't afford that. That's too much. I was just paying $3 and $4 in the UP." And I mean, they're always haggling and trying to work them over and do it, which I understand. You know, they're trying to camp for cheap, but these guys were making a business out of it. And they were taking care of the place, taking care of the roads, taking care of the bathrooms, taking care of the sanitation, trying to get rid of the trash, cleaning out the fire pits. Just, it was a lot of work for the amount of money that they would bring in. And the hot weekends when it happened and went off, I mean, yeah, they'd make some money. They'd sell firewood and they'd sell, you know, other stuff along the way. And they would go for it. But it was never really good, profitable business. It was a side gig. And so I think if you're okay with a side gig and a lot of work, a lot of manual labor, cleaning up after everybody, I think that's fine. But it was really tough. I used to help them a lot, cleaning up the campground, cleaning out fire pits, spreading gravel, taking out the trash. I mean, all those kinds of things. Always cleaning up after someone's drunk stupidity, whatever they did the night before. And, you know, I wouldn't be seeking that out myself. I think there's a lot of other ways to do it. Like splitting some of these properties. You buy some of these acreage properties and you could sell off bits and pieces of them on terms. I think that'd make a lot more sense. You sell it to people, have them make payments to you over time. Maybe it's just me, but that's where I'm coming from and what I care about. But yeah. So thinking of an area to do it, I would try to think of a tourist place, like a tourist where a lot of tourism comes through, and by national parks, by beaches, by water, by something that people are drawn to. Even just peace and quiet can be a good thing for the right people. And then I would add stuff as best I could, like internet, high-speed internet. A lot of people traveling around are looking for places they can go spend some time with some internet, electricity connection. You set up some basics like that and make it affordable for the people to come in and camp there and stay there. I think they'll keep coming. It's a lot easier to promote it now than it was back then. I mean, the signs we used to build to try to get people to go to that campground, and that was it. There's signage out in the street, maybe getting listed in a couple travel books or magazines or something. How about Mesa, Arizona, or Austin, Texas? And John's saying, can you do 500 down and 450 a month? And he's talking about the ocean property. I mean, could probably do that on the oceanfront one. I'd like some more down. Can we try to do some more down for it? It's maybe go take a look at it first or get to know it a little bit better before we start doing 500 down, 450 a month. Because it's the reason I'm saying that is just after I'm saying go sell some land on terms and telling you guys to sell some land on terms, you know. Also, I get a lot of people that do payments on the properties, and then a month or 2 months later, they give up and they walk away. They say, I'm not going to do it. I changed my mind. I want this to be something that's fully researched and that you're gung-ho on, not just I saw a good picture and I want to buy it right this second. Like, I want you to make sure that you really want this property, and I'm not going to hear back from you in 2 months because the payments stopped happening. Like, I want them to keep happening. I want you to be happy with this thing, like really excited, happy to go make this property happen. And do payments over time based on that. and then I'll be inclined to do the 500 down, 450 a month. But I just had so many people bounce out of payments where like the down is about the same as the payments over time that I'm getting kind of tired of it. So I'd really like some more down, or really, really falling in love with that property. Like you go there, visit it, research it, you know how all the utilities work and the building codes, and you're happy, you're ready to go build on that property. Like no questions asked, you're going for it, diving in, right? Like you've done that due diligence. And I think in the time of this call, you haven't had the time to do the due diligence and be really certain that that's the right property for you. It's just I'm guessing, maybe you have, but so I think learn more about the property, and then let's talk about the 500 down, 450 a month, or put some more money down. That say that you're really serious. This is your property. You're going to take off with it. Okay. Snooky says South King or North Pierce County, Washington. So we were just looking at Washington. King County is Seattle. We don't have any South King or North Pierce. Pierce would be over here. King would be over here. We don't have any yet. I just mailed out some offers. Hopefully I'll get some properties in there to put on the website soon. Berkeley Chopo Lures is best for bass float fishing. There we go. Spokane gets super cold in winter. Yeah, Spokane gets cold in winter. We're just looking at that. It gets freezing cold. The ice on the streets cold. Angela, yikes. I'm in Louisiana, so maybe summer would be okay. Yeah, summer in Spokane sounds pretty nice. And Arizona, maybe. Gone prospecting. I'm from the Spokane area, Idaho side, over 100 in the summer, below 0 in the winter. Averaging doesn't get you the extremes. Good good point of view, gone prospecting. Okay, over 100 in the summer, below 0 in the winter. Averaging doesn't get you the extremes. Very true. So listen to that. He's saying he's from the area. Here's Spokane. Here's Coeur d'Alene. I mean, it gets cold. You're away from the coast, and it's higher elevations, I believe. It's going to get cold. It's high latitude as well. Wow, thanks, Gone Prospecting. Stuck in Spokane in a motel room. Tom T. Hall Smog. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. There we go. A bunch of different properties. In the 90s, I made good money shoveling snow off rooftops after a couple of schools in the Spokane area collapsed. Winter precipitation is snow. Yeah, snow, snow, snow. Okay. Ringo Starr says, check out Cheap RV Living. Yeah. Jeffrey Day says, good input, Luke. This is exactly how I feel to myself on the ones I really want. I know, right? Okay, John Smiley, I understand. I will go look at it and can do 5,000 down, 275 a month. There you go. I'm game. 5,000 down, 275 a month. Sounds sold to me. I think if you go look at it, it's even better. Like go make sure. It's on a steep hill, and I'm sure you can build there, but it's on a steep hill. You want to go look at the hill and make sure that you want to go live on the hill overlooking the ocean. Don't get scared. I love it here. I'm throwing some words of caution out there because people keep coming back to me, the land, they buy it, and then they go figure out something. I don't know. They come back. It's like, can we just do a little more research ahead of time? It would be healthy for everybody's sake, I think. So there we have it. I'm catching up with the comments, and we've been at this a little over an hour, and I got a bunch of stuff I want to do today. I got a bunch of deeds I got to clean up, bunch of transactions I'm working on, trying to make them happen, trying to keep everybody happy. So let's jump into that. I want to give away 500 mailers because I keep sending out mail. I've been sending out a bunch of mail. I got to take a little bit of a breather here before I send out some more mail, but I plan to send out a bunch more mail in the future. And there goes my dog. See you in the show. Okay, so 500 mailers. I got to think of a question. So we were going back and forth. We were looking for Boise earlier on in the show. What state was the guy or the person saying Boise was in? I mean, not Idaho. They were saying Boise is somewhere else. And so the 10th person, 10th person to say where it was. I think you just look back at the chat. Where Boise, what state were they asking for Boise? Land in Boise. 10th person wins 500 mailers. So let's see. I got this pulled up on the screen, and it's flying by fast, and I'm going to be able to count this. Redefined Living says Oregon. That's not right. He was saying Colorado. Jarrett Curley says Colorado. So I got to count to 10. I got 10 fingers. So Jarrett Curley, 1. ADDG, Colorado is 2. Blake Jones, 3. Jeffrey Day, 4. Jason Macy, Colorado, 5. Iowawa, 6. Boise, Colorado. Ron DeVito, Colorado. Malmer Hasovic, Colorado. We're almost there. Jeffrey Day, 9. Angela Nadeau, 10. Angela Nadeau, 10. Okay, Angela Nadeau, you're the winner today. Thank you, everybody. No, she said Oregon. Hold on. That's not right. Cheryl Kutcher says Colorado. She's the 10th person to say Colorado. Sorry, Angela, you said Oregon. It's supposed to be Colorado. The person was saying Boise's in Colorado. There might be a Boise in Colorado, but I've never heard of it. And I don't know where. And so we're looking for land in Boise, Colorado, and whether it exists or not. So Cheryl Kushner is the 10th person to say Boise, Colorado, or Colorado. So Cheryl, if you would email Gilian at RowVacantLand. So Gilian at RowVacantLand.com. Give her your information, and I'll get you down for 500 mailers. And what this is going to do is I'm typing it into the chat so you can copy and paste it. So if you can email her your contact information, like a phone number, mailing address, the name, it's probably your real name, I'm guessing, but your real name, so I can pay you in case these deals actually go through. I'm going to send out 500 mailers, and your name, they're going to be in my name, but they're going to be attributed to you. I'm going to keep track of them in my databasing system. And I'm going to make cash offers on land. And I'm going to say, this is how much I'm willing to pay for your land. And I'm going to mail it to some random people that fit all my statistics and criteria, with people that I think will want to sell their land and land that I want to buy. And I'm going to make them an offer. I'm going to say, here's how much cash I'm willing to offer you. And when they get back and they say yes, no, maybe so, whatever. And if the ones that say yes, I'm going to try to progress them. I'm going to try to buy them. I'm going to try to pull them off. So the title's clean. And if the financing happens and everything goes right, buy the property. And I'm going to try to sell the property for more than we bought it for. And if it actually sells for more than we bought it for, and the guy, whoever puts up the money to buy the property, like my finance partner, or me or someone else, finances the thing, they're going to get a big chunk of the money because they're paying the financing, probably like 50% of the profits, probably what I end up paying them. And then after that, the rest of what I would get out of it, if you weren't involved, is what I'm going to share with you. 50% of that, I'll share that with you. And so it might be like 25% of the profits of the deal. And it might take a couple months or maybe even a year to pull off. And it might be a couple deals. It might be no deals. And the guys that are buying mailers, they're getting the same thing, and they might get deals. They might not get deals. And they're taking the risk and giving me a shot to try to go find the best deals I can, try to pull them off and present them and make some money off of them. So I'm giving those to you for free. I'm going to do all the work, put up the money, and go for it. And thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone chiming in here. And let's do it again next week. Talk about some more land deals. And I hope and I wish I can make some more videos about specific properties this week. Get the sales going, and clean out the inventory on a bunch of these older properties and make room for new ones. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye. Talk to you later. Bye.